Hey, glad you're here. Pull up a chair. I want to tell you about a dinner party I went to a few years ago. It wasn't anything fancy, just a few friends, some takeout Thai food, and a living room that smelled like lemongrass and old books. There was a guy there named Marcus. Brilliant guy. The kind of person who remembers the name of the bassist on a jazz record from 1964. We were talking about something trivial. I think it was the fastest way to get to the airport during rush hour. I made a suggestion about a specific back road, and Marcus stopped me. He didn't just disagree, he dismantled my route with the precision of a surgeon. He had data, he had logic. And in that moment, something happened inside my chest. It wasn't a shout, it was a tightening, a sudden cold stiffening of my spine. I didn't care about the airport, I didn't even care about being right, but I felt exposed, like he had stepped on a piece of my territory. So I doubled down. I started arguing for a route I knew was actually longer just because I couldn't bear the weight of being the guy who was wrong in front of 4 people eating pad thai. I went home that night and couldn't sleep. Not because I was mad at Marcus, but because I was embarrassed by how much I needed to be right. I realized that my confidence was actually a very thin, very fragile glass wall. We usually think of pride as a giant neon sign that says, "I'm the best." We think it's the guy bragging about his Rolex or the person demanding the front seat. But that's amateur pride. That's the loud stuff. Real pride, the kind that actually ruins lives and kills spirits, is much quieter. It's respectable. It's defensive. It's the wall we build to make sure no one sees how much we actually need help. Welcome to Take Me to Church. I'm Ebby, and today we're talking about the monster that lives in the basement of our goodness. You see, we've done a bit of a disservice to the word pride. In our culture, pride is a virtue. Take pride in your work, have some pride in yourself. And sure, having a sense of dignity is fine. You get it?
But spiritually speaking, pride isn't the opposite of low self-esteem. That's the first big lie. We think if we feel bad about ourselves, we aren't proud. But think about it. If you're obsessed with how bad you are, you're still obsessed with yourself. It's just the flip side of the same coin. Pride is simply the refusal to be a creature. It's the insistence on being the creator, the judge, and the center of the story. It's not strength, it's self-dependence, and it is incredibly easily offended. Think about the last time you got defensive. Someone gave you a bit of constructive feedback at work. They said, "Hey, this report was good, but the data in section 3 was a bit messy." What was your first thought? Was it, "Oh, thank you for helping me improve"? Or was it an immediate mental list of all the reasons why section 3 was messy because they didn't give you the files on time? That's it. That's the sting. Pride hates being corrected more than it hates being wrong. We would actually rather stay wrong than have someone else point out that we weren't right. It's a bizarre, self-sabotaging way to live. There's the story in the scriptures, and even if you've heard it 1,000 times, try to look at it through the lens of protection. There's a guy named Naaman. He's a big deal. A Syrian commander, a mighty man of valor, the text says. He's got the medals, the horses, the status, but he has leprosy. Underneath the shiny armor, his skin is literally falling apart. He is desperate. He travels all the way to see the prophet Elisha for a miracle. He shows up at Elisha's door with a whole caravan, horses, chariots, and a massive pile of gold and silver. He's ready to buy his healing. He wants a spectacle. He expects the prophet to come out, wave his hand, call on God, and do something noble. But Elisha doesn't even come to the door. He sends a messenger out to say, "Go wash in the Jordan River 7 times." Naaman is livid. He's insulted. He says, "I thought he would surely come out to me. Aren't the rivers in my home country better than these muddy waters?" And he turns away in a rage. Pause there. Look at the absurdity. Naaman is dying of a flesh-eating disease, and he is about to walk away from a cure because the cure was too simple, because it didn't honor his status. because it made him look like a guy who just needed a bath. Naaman's pride preferred his leprosy over a degrading cure. How many of us are dying of leprosy, loneliness, anxiety, broken relationships, but we refuse the bath because it would require us to admit we can't fix it ourselves? We want the miracle, but we want the miracle to look like an award ceremony. We want God to come out and salute us for our effort. Pride is the thing that makes us stay sick because we're too important to be healed in the mud. I saw this play out in a fictional story once. Well, a parable, really. Imagine two people standing at a gate. One is a good person. He spent his life being moral. He's never cheated on his taxes. He's been a faithful spouse. He's given to the poor. He stands at the gate and presents his resume. He's waiting for the well done. The other person is a mess. They've failed at almost everything. They show up with nothing but a request for mercy. The good person is actually in more danger. Why? Because the good person thinks the gate owes him something. He's built a spiritual performance pride. He doesn't think he needs grace. He thinks he's earned a seat. And when he realizes that the messy person gets in on the same terms as him, pure, unearned gift, he gets angry, just like Naaman. This is where it gets uncomfortable, especially for those of us who grew up in church. We can start to use our holiness as a weapon. We use our knowledge of the Bible to win arguments rather than to love people. We use our service to make ourselves feel superior to those who are struggling. That is the most dangerous form of pride because it wears the clothes of humility. It's pride in a Sunday suit. It's the Pharisee in the temple saying, "God, I thank you that I am not like other men." Notice he's praying. He's being spiritual, but his heart is just a hall of mirrors. All he sees is himself. So how do we catch it? If pride is this invisible, odorless gas that fills our hearts, how do we know it's there? It's in the internal monologue of justification. When you're driving and someone cuts you off and you spend the next 10 minutes imagining the speech you'd give them about their terrible driving, that's pride. You've made yourself the judge of the road. When you're in a conversation and you're just waiting for the other person to stop talking so you can say your smarter thing, that's pride. You've decided their soul has nothing to offer yours.
When you can't apologize to your spouse without adding "but you did this first," that's pride. You're protecting your image of being at least 51% right. Pride protects image over truth. Pride speaks first and listens later. And here is the kicker. Pride resists grace because grace implies need. If I accept grace, I have to admit I was broke, and my pride would rather be self-made and miserable than God-made and whole. So what do? How do we live with this? Humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's not walking around with your head down saying, "I'm a worm." That's just more self-obsession. Humility is self-forgetfulness. It's the ability to walk into a room and not wonder what people think of you, but wonder how people are. It's the ability to be corrected and say, "You're right, thank you, I'll try to do better," without feeling like your world is ending. It's the ability to be successful and genuinely feel that it was a gift, not a trophy. I think of Jesus. Now, I know, be like Jesus sounds like a Sunday school answer, but look at the way he did it. He's at the Last Supper. He knows he's the Son of God. He knows he has all authority. And what does he do with that authority? He doesn't demand a throne. He gets up, takes off his outer garment, wraps a towel around his waist, and starts washing the dirt and grime off his friends' feet. The King of the universe, doing the job of the lowest servant. And Peter, bless his heart, Peter's pride flares up. He says, "You shall never wash my feet." It sounds humble, doesn't it? But it's not. It's Peter trying to control the situation. It's Peter saying, "I'm too honorable to let you serve me." Jesus looks at him and says,
If I don't wash you, you have no part with me. That's the ultimatum for all of us. We can have our pride, or we can have the King. We can't have both. To have Him, we have to let Him see our dirty feet. We have to let Him see the parts of us that aren't mighty men of valor. I want to leave you with a question. What are you protecting right now? Tell me, is there a conversation you're avoiding because you'd have to admit you were wrong? Is there a person you're looking down on because their struggle is different than yours? Is there a muddy river you're refusing to wash in because you think you're too good for it? Maybe today, the most spiritual thing you can do isn't to pray a long prayer or read a difficult book. Maybe the most spiritual thing you can do is just exhale. Let the wall down. Admit you don't have it all together. Admit you're a little bit of a mess. There's a strange kind of freedom that comes when you stop trying to be your own God. It's the freedom of being a child again. The door is open, but you have to leave your resume outside. I'm Ebby. This has been Take Me to Church. Go in peace, or at the very least, go in honesty. Talk soon.